History. History. History.
Hey, what's up, party people? Jazz Bro Gonzo here, another episode of What's Next, your home of facts and common sense, and happy Monday. As well as everybody knows is that, of course, Dave Chappelle, yes, the savage himself, who has been an enemy of the left, enemy of the woke mob, since he basically called out facts regarding that there are only two genders. He has been on the hit list ever since. But most recently, at a comedy concert at the Hollywood Bowl, he was attacked by, of course, a clown, a more than likely woke clown, who attacked him with a plastic knife and a plastic gun. And of course, Dave Chappelle's entourage took care of the rest by beating the shit out of him. Now, it turned out he only get a slap on the wrist. Yes, a misdemeanor, 4 counts of misdemeanor to be exact. But we're not here so much to concentrate on what the issues were with Dave Chappelle at that concert. We're here to look at the aftermath, is that Chappelle is not too happy because LA Gascon's, LA District Attorney Gascon, who has a history of protecting the criminals, yeah, Chappelle wants more to be done, but let's take a look. This comes out of Bounding in the Comics. Dave Chappelle calls on LA District Attorney to correct this mistake after office declines to file felony charges against his Netflix is a joke attacker. After Los Angeles District Attorney declined to charge the man who attacked him during his Netflix is a joke with felony crimes, instead slapping him with 4 reduced misdemeanor charges, comedian Dave Chappelle has called on the California City's head legal office to correct the mistake, quote unquote, and to treat this case with the appropriate level of severity. Current LADA George Gascon announced his office declining the felony charges against the 23-year-old male Isaiah Lee, who was initially booked on felony charges after having reached for a spring-loaded knife installed in a firearm shell amidst his rushing of Chappelle during the comedian's May 3rd performance at the Hollywood Bowl. And this came through the LA County spokesman, Greg Raisling. Quote, after reviewing the evidence, prosecutors determined that while criminal conduct occurred, the evidence as presented did not constitute felony conduct. Yes, even though I have a plastic gun with a spring-loaded knife and I'm going to stab you, nah, that doesn't count as felony. According to the document seen by the outlet, Gascon's office declined to press felony charges after, quote, a slow-motion review of video footage led them to conclude that Lee was not wielding the weapon when he rushed on stage, instead only to reach for it after it had been knocked down out of his waistband packet backstage. And his actions failed to meet said felony conduct standards. He declined to provide any further comment on the case on the grounds of that it currently, quote, remains open and under investigation. But of course, let's all review, shall we?
History. History.
That to Gascon. Who is this clown, LADA George Gascon? And of course, if you want to know at full extent, I would suggest that you check out Tucker Carlson's expose on exposing who George Gascon is and the Soros connection. But this comes out of the Los Angeles Daily News, George Gascon's social experiment in Los Angeles County. And that is the clown. LA District Attorney George Gascon was defiant as he marked the end of his first year in office on December 8th. Now, of course, this was as of April 14th. Quote, I'm not going to be intimidated by political rhetoric, he said. It was a non-news conference as Gascon surrounded himself with more than a dozen district attorneys from outside California, as if sending a message to the people of LA that we all need to get with the program. Yes, it doesn't matter what you say, it's about what I say, and that's what really counts. Quote, we're trying to dramatically change a system that has served no one, not the victims of crime and not the public. Yes, the victims of crime, are the criminals in his eyes. That was December. Now we're in mid-February. Gascon dramatically changed his tune. He issued memos informing LA County prosecutors that they may now seek to try juveniles as adults, that they may seek life sentences against some defendants. This marked a stark reversal of the blanket policies Gascon announced immediately after taking office in 20, when he flat out banned prosecutors from seeking the death penalty or life sentences without the possibility of parole or trying juveniles as adults. Gascon also put strict limits on the use of sentencing enhancements. What changed? The answer may be in the latest poll instituted by Governmental Studies at UC Berkeley. Late March and early April, the poll found 50% of voters of the city of LA disapproved of Gascon doing the LA County's work, with only 32% saying they disapprove strongly. So basically, the poll spoke, and he was like, well, I need to change my tune. Now with that, we go to this. This comes out of Breitbart. Campaign to recall Soros-backed George Gascon has 400,000 signatures and counting. A campaign to force a recall election of George Soros-backed LA District Attorney George Gascon has gathered 400,000 signatures, more than 2/3 of the number necessary, as the public outrage against crime continues to grow. The petition effort, the second since Gascon, since took office in 2020, looks likely to succeed and is receiving greater attention thanks to high-profile cases. On Thursday, Gascon office declined to prosecute a man who rushed the stage and attacked comedian Dave Chappelle. Circle back. At the Hollywood Bowl earlier this week, even though he was armed with a knife that was embedded in a replica semi-automatic pistol, instead the man will be investigated for a misdemeanor by city authorities. Excuse me. Early this year, Gascon ensured that a criminal who attacked a 10-year-old girl was sentenced to 2 years in juvenile detention, ensuring he or she, since the convict, changed genders. Yes, he conveniently changed genders. Well, you know, I attacked the girl as a man, but I'm really a woman, so you can't prosecute against me, can you? Since the crime, and will not register as a sex offender. Yeah, that got high profile. And late last year, Gascon tried to blame the system for the murder of a black philanthropist, Jacqueline Avant, who was murdered in her own home during an attempted robbery by a convicted felon who had been released from LA County Prison. The fact of the matter is that this guy, LA District Attorney Gascon, is a piece of garbage. He's absolute trash. And LA County is paying for it. The city of Los Angeles is paying for it with its highest crime rates in well over a decade. But to Gascon, it doesn't matter. It's about what makes him look good. You know, just like when you have an idiot mayor in Chicago, or you have the idiot mayor in Philadelphia, Baltimore, Houston, New York City. Pick your poison. But when it comes to the LA County, Gascon is not doing anybody any favors. And the people of LA County are paying for it. As we just looked at three initial cases. One, somebody decides to flip their gender so that way they won't get prosecuted, which of course he did not as a sexual offender. 2, someone attacks a 10-year-old little girl and gets a slap on the wrist, 2 years probation. And of course, the most high-profile case right now, Dave Chappelle. Now, of course, that is the minor of the 3. But still, Chappelle says, I was attacked, which he was, with a weapon, which he was. But yet, he got slapped with 4 misdemeanors. But we're going to see, in combination with the recall, and of course, Dave Chappelle, if Dave continues to get loud with this, Gascon will have no choice but to charge him with a felony. But we're going to see. But at the end of the day, Gascon is absolute, once again, can't use this word enough. He's trash. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gunzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we catch you guys on the next one. Peace.